Alrighty, we are back with some more of Sons of the Forest. What are we doing today? We're going to continue to work on our hotel. Virginia's bringing us food, as she should. Fortunately, she doesn't know how to cook, which makes her... I mean, you know, if the gal's going to bring you food, she should know how to cook it. Can we put this up here? Yeah, I could grab 2 fish. 1, 2. Gal shouldn't just bring you like a raw steak, right? It's like, oh, here's a piece of beef for you. Did you cook it? No. No. You got to cook it. Bring it to me. I wouldn't do that to my gal. I wouldn't bring her some pancake batter and go, here's breakfast. No, I wouldn't do that. But anyway. You wouldn't bring somebody some eggs, right? Just raw eggs in the shell. Go, here you go. It's breakfast. Didn't you cook them? No, I just brought them for you. It's the thought that counts. No, I'm pretty sure that it's a little bit more than that. Pretty sure that you need to cook them. You know. Maybe that's me, though. Maybe I'm just, maybe I'm expecting a little too much. Anyways. All right. We're working on our hotel today. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still waking up. Still having my morning coffee. So you're gonna have to ignore me a little bit. Oh, look, brilliance. Kelvin will be along one of these days. It's just, the best thing to do is just ignore him when you're working on a building like this. Yeah, they're pretty stupid. They're gonna land themselves in the water and whatnot. We're not talking about the sharpest tools in the drawer here, okay? These are not the sharpest tools in the drawer. See that? Not the sharpest knives. Oh, I should build some traps around here too, so I'll get bothered. Hey, there he is. There he is. Here comes some more of the Doofertons. They fall right in the water. What a bunch of idiots. Like I said, we should, I should build some traps up front. Coming over here? Yeah. More friends. Oh, come on now. Don't run away. You started this. Where'd you going? Oh, no. It's hershey feechy wooshy, doesn't it? All right. I've had enough. Build us a helicopter trap or two over here. I'm going right. Oh. Where you going, son? That guy. I got everything I need to build the trap. Jiminy Christmas, you know? These people. You know, I wish they would go out and get a job or something. Like a real job, building a house or whatnot. Instead of bothering me. What are they doing? They gotta act like all that, and then come over here. Are you coming over? Well, you know, you gotta. All right. I'm gonna check on your wife. Well, she's dead. You're gonna join her. There you go. This is the whole reason I had Kelvin get some sticks for me. So I could build a few traps. Kelvin. Oh my gosh. My man. All of these two cross over each other. There we go. There's one. Eating his berries. Do, 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 do. 16, not 20. I got a job for you. Just hang tight for a second, bud. Okay. I'm gonna go get a light bulb. Just hang on for a minute. Okay, and then we'll build another one, say here. I might have him get some sticks. Okay. We'll finish those up tomorrow. I'll move the cart over here. It's kind of out of the way. This will work right over chaw. All right, come here, son. Come here. Follow me. I kind of move it away from me a little bit. That way he's not as bothered. Probably. All right, get sticks and fill the sled. It's a lot of sticks. But I mean, he's getting my job done over here, too. What are the stones for? A future project. I got a future project in mind already. I know. I'm thinking ahead of things to do. And it's going to require a lot of stone. And I do mean a lot of stone. How much stone? A lot. That's how much. Should be aware. It's going to cost a lot of stone. I think they had a contest to see which the most immature creature would win. They had contests every week for creature design. Right. So, like week 1, this is my theory anyway. My theory of how these monsters got invented. Right. So they knew they were going to have cannibals, right? And then they said, well, let's get a couple other cannibals too. You know, and we had the previous ones. We've got the muddies, right, in the previous version. Who are the gray ones who were like lowest on the totem pole, and then we've got those now. And we have the regular cannibals, you know, they can wear armor and whatnot. And then they said, okay, well, let's add in some more. And they're like, well, how about a really big, tall dude? You know? Yeah, okay, well, that sounds fine. And then they started having contests. All right, so give us the the contest for week 1 is give us the best colored cannibal. and red won. So they made a red man, painted red. But why is he red? Why is his entire body red? We don't know. We have no idea. There's no lore on why he's painted red. And I think his skin pigmentation is actually red. It's not a. He's red and bald too. Right? I think all the cannibals are bald, aren't they? Yeah, they lose their hair. Okay. So then they said, okay, well, he needs a wife. So they got Miss Keeps. And they said, well, what's he gonna do? Well, he's gonna be the battering ram. You mean the guy with the big club? He's not the battering ram? Oh no. He's not the battering ram character. The guy with the red man is the big battering ram character. Okay, well. So he's going to be the guy who breaks people's walls by running into them. And the other guy, I have to kill this guy. All right. So then they needed to add a cannibal, a wife, if you will. I don't know how many arrows it's going. Shoot him in the butt. Shoot him in the butt. Shoot him in the butt. Get him, Virginia. See, like, this guy does hardly any damage to you. I think he's dead. Yeah. He's dead. He did, Fred. He's a pincushion. So they added Miss Flopham, All the other cannibal girls, well, they cover their top, but not this one. Like, oh, look, it's a cannibal that doesn't cover her toddy pops. No, isn't that funny? All the kids are going to laugh. Look at it. This cannibal doesn't cover her things. Her jugs. So they put that in there, right? Okay. And I don't mind those two. I just think that the red dude should be a little bit more powerful. So, anyways, they were added, and then we started having contests for. All right, what's the most? So they're going to add the next group of monsters. What's the next group of monsters we're going to add? All right, well, we're going to take Virginia out of the equation. Okay, well, Virginia's not going to be in this one. So we got to come up with some new scary monsters. We're going to have a contest. We're going to be fighting demons. So everybody comes up with the best demon that they can come up with. And the one that came up was pretty good. I'm not going to take it away from him. I mean, it's pretty it's pretty alien-like. It's very alien-like, in fact. It's buggy. It's like a bug. I'll give it to the designers. That was very well. The alien, they do really, and they damage pretty well too. Have a nice spike of damage. So, person won first place for that one. There were other submissions as well. You got somebody that, submitted. They had different submissions for the most alien-like. But that one won. And then they said, okay, all right, we've got the demons figured out. What are we going to do about, like, monsters, like mutated people? All right, well, let's start with the fingers guy. So what's he all about? Well, he's a human, and his head got turned inside out. and his chest cavity burst open, and his rib cage become a bunch of fingers. All right, well, that kind of works. Yeah. What damage is he going to do? What damage, right? You always have to ask the question, what's the damage he's going to do? What's he going to hit for? Well, he's going to do smashing damage, right? He's going to smash the hero with his head. That's how he's going to do damage. He doesn't have any hands, obviously. They got all those fingers got morphed into his rib cage got morphed into fingers. So he is, and his head's solid. So he's going to do hit. He's going to smash with his head. So he's going to do hit damage. That's how he's going to damage things. Okay, well that's pretty good. Yeah, it's fine. And it's a pretty original design. I'm not complaining about Mr. Fingers. Mr. Fingers is pretty cool. I just think he lacks damage output. But that aside, he's not a bad monster at all. He's pretty well thought out. Kind of weak, but maybe he's an early game monster that you're supposed to fight, right? Early game mutant. Get you used to the mutations that are going to occur. It's kind of an early game opponent for you to chew your teeth on. All right, and then they come up with the next one. The next one, what's the next one? The next one's Legsy. Now, Legsy. Let's talk about Legsy. What's he do? Well, he jumps around and smacks you, And he's upside down. So his feet, the way he propels himself, how he propels himself is through his feet. And his feet are his hands. He got turned upside down, in other words, right? He got turned upside down. So he's got a couple attacks. So his attacks are a little bit more aggressive. Another fish. So he's got a couple different attacks. And now we're increasing the difficulty of the monsters, right? He can swing at you with his feet. He can do feet damage, which, you ever get smacked by a foot? I mean, number one, it's stinky, right? You want that stink around you. But you get smacked by a foot. He got foot stank. Is what he has. That's his superpower. So he smacks you with his feet. And he could jump on top of you. He's got a jump attack. Oh, okay. So we got a jump attack, and he's got feety attack. Right. Now I'm gonna give the designers again. Leg guy, he's pretty cool too. It's not my favorite monsters, but he's otherwise pretty chipper. Yeah. Virginia, of all the times, Jesus, I'm over here trying to get some creepy armor, and she's like, I'm going to shoot him now into the water. Where were you like an hour ago when I was surrounded by mutants? Anyways, back to Legsy man. So he has two different attacks. He can smack you with his feet. He got the feet stank attack, and he's got his jump attack where he can jump on top of you, right? So those are his main attacks. And then you ask the question, okay, well, what damage output does he have? Well, his damage output for his jump on top of you attack, it's about the same. It's almost about the same as getting hit with the leggy guy, the fingers guy. It's almost the same. It's a little bit more, but his leg attack hits a little harder. Okay, so it'll shred some armor, and it should, because feet stank, man. Feet stank can kill a guy. If you don't know anything about feet stank, shoot. That'll put you down right quick. So there's his attack. And so next they have the next one is like, all right, the next is the most original monster. Most mechanically original monster. So what's the most mechanically original monster you can come up with? Well, the most mechanically original monster, obviously, is the Slinky Monster. One of my favorite monsters. Why? Because it's mechanically cool. Right? It's a Slinky Monster. You know, it's mechanically pretty cool. It's like just like a Slinky toy. One of my favorite monsters. And what does it do? Well, obviously, it's going to smash you. It's like two people joined together, right? I mean, obviously, you need, you know, they got stuck together when the thing was mutated, when everything got mutated. So they're having a bad day. And what? All right. So what's their main attack? Well, their main attack is like well, it's another swipe attack. Just kind of like you kind of see the pattern here. Swipe attacks. There's like a lot of swipe attacks in this game. Legsy has it. Brain Man, Fingers Man has it. Like, there's not a lot of original. You know, most of the mutants in this game have the same type of attack, which is I think they should expound upon a little bit more. But you know, it's okay. He got knocked out of the water. Cool. Gimme. So we have got that going on, right? Which is fine. You know, you don't have to have the most original thing all the time. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be. So we got legs. We got Slinky Man, which I think is a very original monster. And it follows some pretty interesting mechanics. It's like a Slinky toy. You know? Which are cool. And so you got the Slinky Monster, man. The Slinky Monster, which does fairly decent damage. Not a lot, but it smacks you on your butt. Will shred some armor, take some armor off of you. That's his power. Okay. Am I missing any other monsters? What other monsters am I missing? We got Slinky Monster. No, that's all the. Okay, and then we have. Then they wrote on a piece of paper. What's the most childish monster that we can come up with? The most childish monster that we can come up with. Well, obviously the butthole monster. Okay? The monster that looks like a bunch of buttholes. That's the most childish monster we can come up with. And they ran with it. They completely ran with it. Like, yeah, we're just gonna, you know, have the most childish. We're gonna make a big blob and make it all out of buttholes. Mm-hmm. What am I doing? Armor. So they won that contest. Whoever came up with that, they won that contest for the most, you know, most childish monster. I'm probably gonna build another one. Oh hell no, we're leaving. I ain't fighting these things. And then they said, okay, all right, well, we got all the monsters figured out. And then there was like one dev who's like, oh no, we're not done. Well, what do you mean we're not done? Well, we got to have a couple more monsters. Oh, and then they have to have cast. Of course, you have to ask, what's the monster's capabilities? What does he do? Well, the let's see. What can we have a big blob of flesh that looks like a bunch of buttholes do? Oh, he'll jump on top of you. So he got the butt stank attack. The butt stank attack. The stinky butt attack. And so what does he do? He jumps on top of you. And what does he also do? Well, he runs into you like a bull. Okay. So he does the same thing that all the other mutants do. Yeah. He runs into you, jumps on top of you, like two other monsters do. Oh, all right. Okay, that's fine. And then what else is he going to do? Well, how much health does he have? Well, he doesn't really have a lot of health. To be honest, he's pretty weak sauce. Leg Monster has more health. You ever tried to fight him? How many sword strikes do you need to fight the Leg Monster? You need quite a few. For a big butt man? No. You could pop him pretty good. The arrows don't do much, but you get a sword up close, you stun lock him, he goes down pretty quick. So he doesn't have a lot of health. Okay, he's not a very healthy monster, if you will. So we have that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So we're getting our monsters kind of figured out, right? And then they're like, all right, now. Okay. Mm-hmm. Came back over here to put the light bulbs in. Do. Okay. So they're like, all right, well, we got to come up with another. Okay, back to my theory on how they created the monsters in the game. So they came up with they finally came up with the. They got the butt stink monster. Okay, that's great. It looks like the most childish monster you could come across with, and it was awarded to some dev. You know what the dev did is he just had his kid go, "Hey, kid, 9-year-old." Well, maybe the kid's more like 11 or something, but it's like, what's the most childish monster you can come up with? And the kid's like, "Hey, a butt monster." I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. Yeah. So that's how they came up with the butt monster. All right. Then they were like, all right, we need more monsters. What else? What other mutants are we going to have? And they're like, well, we should probably bring what else can we have in the game? Like, well, we need some more, what else could we have? Well, let's put in the babies. Well, didn't Virginia create the babies? Yeah, but we'll just ignore that particular plot hole. Like, Virginia was the female version who, had all the babies. Yeah. Clearly a female character. Clearly a female monster, if you will, who was making all the babies who grew into the, other monsters. The other mutants. But we're going to ignore that particular plot hole because, we don't have an answer for it. Anyways, so And you might say, well, the babies follow around. What's its name? I need another log. The babies follow around. Fingers. Couldn't the fingers be female? Couldn't the fingers be having babies? Yeah, but it wouldn't it? You would see that in the early portion of the game, because whenever you went into Virginia's lair, she had lots of babies around her. It wasn't just like one. There's like 5, 100. There was a lot. I don't want to put that there. Maybe. Maybe, baby. How big is this thing getting? This thing's huge. It's huge. The size of this thing. I think this is going to work out much better than the previous one. I think this will be our last. Well, we could go out to this row here, I think. Yeah, let's go out to this row. So this would be our ending row. So, anyways, let's get back to our. So they threw the babies back in because, ignore plot device. Don't worry about how. They just is. Right? They're using hand-wavium again. Hand-wavium is when you have a plot problem and you just kind of wave it away. Like, oh yeah, it's always been that way. You're like, no, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. You don't lie. Don't lie. It's hand-wavium. It's when somebody has a, if you're not familiar with that term. Here's a great one, right? Here's a great hand-wavium. Okay. Anakin Skywalker, right? Anakin Skywalker. His mom was a slave, right? So they took Anakin, but the Jedi never went back to go get his mom, by his mom, right? No, they never went back to get his mom, and they never answered the question, why didn't the Jedi do that? Like, the Jedi are supposed to be these benevolent people, like, getting a slave from, freeing a slave from captivity would be on the good guy tier list of things to do. Like, let's get the guys who loves his mother very much, who's going to be the chosen one, but we're going to ignore his mom. I'd be pretty pissed about that, but they just kind of hand wave it away, right? It's hand waving. Oh, they just didn't have the time. What? Try again. It's kind of hand waving. It's like, oh yeah. Blah, blah, blah. But you'll be reading a book, and they just skip something really important. And like, oh, that's just the laws of physics. And you're like, whoa. When did the laws of physics just change suddenly? How did they just change? Burger. Come on over. The water's fine. I know. Chopper, upper, dopper. So, never mind the fact there's a little hand wavium going on in the game, and it's fine. We're not dealing with a novel here, but it would be nice if you had a little consistency. That's all I'm asking for. I'm just asking for some consistency. in your storyline. So supply me an answer where the babies came from. And just because they follow around the fingers doesn't necessarily make them make that the mother. And that's not necessarily true. Like ducklings will follow around a dog if they imprint. Right? You know, might. Yeah. So, not necessarily. It's not necessary. So, where do they come from? They just magically appear, right? Just through the magical form of plot holes. So, anyways. As we were discussing, so they re-added the babies because they thought it'd be funny, because they, you know. There's some babies for you. Even though we're adding a whole bunch of new mutants, like all of our mutants are going to be new, but we're going to lie about this one. This one. We're going to add the babies in. Isn't that funny? Yeah. It's real funny, man. It's real funny. Doo-doo-doo. Where do you have one go? So then they're like, okay, we need another monster. We need another monster because the number of monsters that we have just isn't enough. It's not enough. We need one more. And then they're like, all right, well, how about a monster that is human-ish, and it can't see and goes by echolocation. Okay. Well, that's interesting. But we're going to make it really, really weak. It's going to be an really weak monster. So it doesn't have a lot of strength. Okay. But it can hit you kind of hard. It flails around, right? You know. It does a lot of flail. It does flailing damage. Not hit damage like we're a punch damage. Slinky monster, see? A great monster. It does flailing damage. It flails around, you know. All right. It's kind of human. It can't see very well. It uses echolocation, and it likes to be out in the dark, except we find them out in the wild during the daytime. But that's neither here nor there. And these are just mutated humans, right? Who got caught in the blast radius of the mutator, the magic mutator. Ignoring the obvious plot hole here, like how did the other mutants come about? Yeah. Like, wouldn't all the mutants be that way? Like, no. It's just, it's random. It's mutations. It's a random thing. All right, okay, we'll accept the randomness of it. That's fine. I can accept the randomness of a random event. And then we're going to put these together and call these, Puffytons. And they're going to be just like, this is what Edward and Barbara popped into. They turned into Puffytons. And they just flail about constantly. Kind of like meth heads. Yeah, kind of like meth heads. So, oh, poor dear. Yeah, the helicopter traps are awesome. So they get this flailing attack because they can't see very well. All right, it's fine. We'll give them this nice, cool flailing attack. It's gonna hit. It's gonna hit you hard because it's like the entire arm is like smashing you. All right. So what kind of? So they do high damage output, but they're not very tanky, right? Yeah. So they're like glass cannons, in other words. Yeah, they're glass cannons. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. But then they decided that they needed to upgrade them. Well, why do we need to upgrade them? Well, they don't hit hard enough. Well, they're glass cannons. We need to make them tougher. Well, they're not supposed to be tough. They're supposed to hit hard, but be very, susceptible to damage. That's what a glass cannon is. It's the idea behind a glass cannon. It hits really hard, but you can break it really easy. Yeah. Oh no, we have to have super ones now. All righty. So, where did the super ones come from? Well, they're just a mutated version of the mutants. They're just as tough as the Puffins. But why did we make the Puffins to be tough? Well, because they're semi-bosses. Well, why are we making even more semi-bosses? And by the way, they're going to do more damage than your normal mutant will do as well. So we're gonna make an enemy that we already have. We're gonna take an enemy that we already have, and we're gonna upgrade it to make it even tougher. Why should we do that? What reason should we do that? Why should we make this enemy tougher? Well, because don't know. All right. Well, how chunky is the thing? Well, it's really chunky. Okay, well, define really chunky. How chunky? How much health does this thing? Oh, more than like most mutants. More than most mutants. Yeah. It's going to be really chunky. It's going to have a lot of health. So we've taken a glass cannon and we've turned it into a chunky opponent. Yeah. And then it's going to have this helicopter attack. Like it'll jump in the air and spin around in a circle and shred the hero's armor. What? Yeah, it's going to spin in the air like a helicopter. You mean like a propeller? Yeah, like a propeller. The propeller attack. Its arm's going to flail out in the air. Well, wouldn't the hero be able to just kind of step out of the way? No. The hero can't step out of the way because the attack is so big. The arms are flailing so large. Yeah, but he could step out of the way of the other mutants' attacks. Yeah, but this one, the arms are just so large. Well, their arms look just kind of same to me. Look like normal human arms. Maybe they're a little longer, but the hero should be able to step out of the way of the flailing arm. No, they can't. He can't do that. And you know what's gonna do? If it hits, it's gonna shred half the armor. You mean one hit shreds half the armor? Yeah, one hit will shred half the hero's armor. Really? Yeah. Okay. Well, why? Does this mutant have any specific, powers or something? No. It's because of it's because of the propeller attack, helicopter, propeller, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's because they have this special attack. It's special. It hits especially hard. Yeah, but how? Like, you realize this violates the laws of physics. I know we're making a video game, right? We're making a video game where you have to suspend disbelief every now and again, but you can't break physics too badly or people really don't like it. Well, nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to critique us. Nobody's going to give us bad reviews for a monster that does insanely stupid amounts of damage, even though we it's the hardest monster and it's the last monster, and we just upgraded it because reasons. So you're making an OP monster that's stronger than all the other mutants, and it's got more health than all the other mutants. Shreds armor, has a propeller attack. It flails in the air. It violates the laws of physics. The hero can't get out of the way of its thing. And you think this is a good idea? Yeah. We think it's a great idea. And then the lead designer said, okay, let's put it in the game. Because you were so original with all the other monsters. I want you to think about, just like for 5 minutes, just for not even 5 minutes, like 30 seconds here, just 30 seconds. Every mutant that they developed has the same attacks. Same attacks. They're all flailing attacks. In other words, they use their body to try to mash you. That's their main attack. They use their body to try to smash you. That's their solution. Okay. It's the basic 3 attacks. That's it. You got to think about it. All the monsters don't have any hands. They don't have any arms. Like Armsy had arms, right? In the other game. Virginia, she had arms. She jumped on top of you. She's scary as shit. What made her scary is she was like a spider person, you know. She was scary. So what they've categorized is all the mutants, because they don't have arms, they gave them all the same attacks. Like body blocking, body blows, smack your ownies, right? Jump attack to jump on top of you. 2 of the mutants have that. The leg dude and the blob dude both have jump attack. They jump on top of you. And all the other ones have like body blow attacks. Like they try to chuck their bodies at you. Those are their main attacks. And then the demons have a different attack. They use their hind legs. They can primarily, one of their primary attacks is their hind legs. But they can also use their hands to slash at you. Pretty well done, I think, on that one. That was well done. Grab this one. And so those are my thoughts on the monsters in this game. Please stop moving. Ugh. Sir, you're not. There you go. Boink. I have to go get some more printed arrows. I keep losing them. But you can tell me your thoughts on the monsters in this game. The mutants, if you will. The bad guys. The ones we fight against. He's all done. He's all done. All right, you need something to. Well, we're almost done for the day. We're almost done. I'm not gonna have you go do anything else. Yabba dub doo. You're ugly too. You're such an idiot. There you go. Enjoy that one. I'm gonna jump up to a guy who has longer reach than I do. Truly, your decision-making abilities, ma'am, are explicitly amazing. Come on. Oh my gosh, this guy. Get up there. Jump. Boozy, boozy, bop. Diddly bop. Well, I hope you enjoyed my my theory on how the mutants were, the monsters and the cannibals and mutants were created today. Always strive to bring entertainment to everybody. educate everybody today. But that's going to have to do it for our educational process today. And we'll see you next time.